Hey everyone, I'm Eric Thomas of Eric Thomas Studios, and today we'll be covering more Adobe Experience Design. This time we'll be going into the prototyping side of XD, so if you haven't seen the first part of this, you might want to check that out first. So the video on design was a bit more obvious. Pretty much everyone knows what design means. But prototyping is a bit less common. So we'll start with the question, what is prototyping? In the context here, prototyping is basically a preview of how our app or site will work. It's an interactive design meant to act as a sort of demo for the style and basic functions of what we're building. This is great for showing clients what you're working on for them, instead of just trying to get it across with a few screenshots. So, to start prototyping, we'll need at least 2 artboards with something on them. When we have that, we just need to click Prototype up at the top left of the program. In here, the first thing we'll need to do is click on an object in one of the artboards. It will highlight, and to the right side we'll have a small arrow icon. Click on that and drag to the artboard you want the button to link to. When you let go, the button will now act just like a link in a site or app, and we'll have another menu that opens up. At the top, we'll have a drop down for our target, which lets us change where it links to. There are options for linking to a different artboard through the menu, or making it go nowhere, but we have something else that's pretty cool here. We can actually design functioning back buttons by choosing previous artboard from the list here. Under that, we have our transition settings. These set how the site or app moves from one screen to another. The first option in the drop-down is to not have a transition at all, which means you'll just cut from screen to screen without any kind of transition. By default though, will be set to dissolve. Dissolve will fade from one screen to the next when you click a link in the demo. Slide, on the other hand, will make it so the screen you're going to will move in from one of the sides to cover the previous. At the same time, the previous screen will start to fade to black as it's being covered. Push works pretty much the exact same way, but without the fade. The next drop-down is to set easing. This is how fast the transition seems to move. First up, and the default, is easing out. This will make it so the transition starts slow, then speeds up towards the end. Opposite of that, ease in will make it so we begin fast and slow as we get to the end. And ease in out will do both. So with this, we'll start slow, speed up, and then slow down as we get to the other end of the transition. Set to none, there won't be any easing, so it'll just move at the same speed from start to finish. Now, how noticeable the transition is will depend on our last option here, which is our duration. This is how long the whole thing lasts, which will also change how fast the easing goes. To change it, we can just click on the drop down and make it 0.2 seconds up to a full second. And lastly for this, we can edit these settings even after this box closes. At any time, we can click on our button and click once on the blue box at the end of the connection, which will reopen our settings. So that's how we set up the demo. How do we actually make the demo? Easy. Head up to the top right of the program and click the triangle play button. This will open up our desktop preview, which is a window from which we can test and demo our app. So as with any good prototype, we can now click any buttons that have links in this window, and the preview will act like it's a real link to another screen as it would be in the real world. Now that in mind, we can actually record our demo to show to the team or client right from this window. Just click the white button up on the top right next to the zeros. You'll now start recording the demo, the dot in the button will start blinking, and the timer will run. You can now click any buttons to show off your links and the functions. Once you're done, just click the record button again, and it'll end. A save window will open up, giving you the option to name the MOV file you'll be making. You can then take that demo file into After Effects to add in some motion graphics, or just send it off to the client. You do have another option though if the client wants to use your prototype themselves. To do this, head up to the File menu at the top of Xd and click on Share Online. Or click at the very top right icon, which is a box with an arrow pointing up from it, which will get you the same place. A new window will open up where you can name your project, add an icon to it, and allow comments. You'll also notice above the Allow Comments checkmark that there's a small house icon next to the words Start At and the name of an artboard. This is your prototype's index or home screen, which is where the demo will always start. To change this to a different screen, head back into Prototype, click on a different artboard, and click the gray box with the same house icon. Whichever artboard that has this box in blue will be the one that acts as your start screen. Back inside the Share Online menu, we can then click Create Link. With a CC subscription, you get server space to host your demos automatically. When you've made a link to a prototype, you can then send that link out and others can interact with it in their browser. And that was a look at prototyping in Adobe Xd. I hope you've all learned something and had fun doing it. If you have any feedback, you can let me know with a comment below or with a message to @ET_studios on Twitter, where I have DMs open. You can also like this video and share it around. I'd appreciate the help getting the word out. And have a great day, everyone.